Doubt tells me I cannot break this wood. But doubt exists only in the mind. You know what I say to my mind? Now, you.
Kevin. Messieurs, patates moldaves, comez, nous les cassos.
Now, come on!
Yeah, baby!
I'll handle this!
Hope you enjoy the rest of your short life! Please work! Come on! You stole from us, and now you're gonna pay! Enjoy being torn apart!
Hey, tout à ma douce mini-boss!
Guys! Oh, why don't we make this a fair fight? Oh, you thought I was serious? Run! All right, who let the kid in?
I thought he was a tiny man.
What's wrong with you? You seriously think a puny little child can be a villain?
Yes, I am pretty despicable. You don't want to cross me?
Evil is for adults who steal powerful ancient stones and wreak havoc. And not for tubby little punks who should be at school, learning, taking a recess. Sucking his thumb.
In the film's opening sequence, we see a minion on a ball hitting straight into the illumination title and obstructing it. This scene is an homage to Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. The minion surely comes in like a wrecking ball. Gru fantasizes about entering the Vicious Six, an Avengers-style corporation of baddies formed by Wild Knuckles. While Gru is tied directly to a clock tower by the Vicious Six, he starts yelling out to his dedicated minions and appears to say, "Minions assemble," an explicit resemblance to the major motion picture Avengers Endgame, when all of the Avengers are facing off against the adversary Thanos, and Captain America says the iconic line, "Avengers assemble." In one incident, the minions are converted into different animals, including Stuart, who is transmogrified into a chicken. This is an apparent reference to one of the franchise's earlier iterations, particularly Despicable Me 2, in which Gru must try and deal with Polo Loco. Polo Loco is Eduardo's salsa store guard dog, but he is absolutely a chicken and not really a dog. We witness a blue van with blossoms gliding over the protagonist's faces, while Gru and his minions are fighting a war with the Vicious Six. Do the blossoms inform you of anything considerable from the 1970s? If you look really closely, it looks an awful lot like the legendary Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. When Gru and his minions take a trip to the movie theater, he lets loose a stink bomb on the entire audience. Does this make you think of something? Because this was not the first time Gru used a stink explosive. This is a direct reference to the first Despicable Me film, where Dr. Nefario presents Gru with his fart gun, which he genuinely believes Gru demanded. "I said dart gun, not fart gun," Gru attempted to explain. The Vicious Six supervillain group sounds very familiar. This is because it parallels another heinous gang of Marvel Studios supervillains known as the Sinister Six. The Sinister Six are a collective of supervillains who show up in Marvel Studios' American comics, pretty much exclusively those starring Spider-Man. Driven by Dr. Octopus, the team swiftly followed the very initial cameos of many of Spider-Man's most everlasting participants: Vulture, Sandman, Electro, Mysterio, and Kraven the Hunter. While Dr. Octopus has typically stayed its commander, the Sinister Six's structure has changed quite a bit. Speaking of the Vicious Six, we acknowledge that one of the supervillains appeared to fit perfectly in with all the others from Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange because of the robotic claw bicep. Jean-Claude is the name of this supervillain, and he is performed by Belgian actor Jean-Claude himself. If only he had somehow done a few splits in this film as well. In the scene where Gru is struggling to break into a safety deposit box, things do not appear to be running well for him. If you pay very close attention, you might start noticing that you've seen Gru's new outfit before. Yes, it really does look like Russell's costume from Pixar's Up when he begins moving high in the clouds. Perhaps all Gru needs is a couple of balloons to open the vault. When Gru goes to the Vicious Six headquarters to try and join their supervillain alliance, he meets several other villains who are also eagerly waiting to join the squad and are standing in line in the waiting area. One of them is reading a magazine if you pay attention. If you look really closely, the magazine is a 1961 version of Mad Magazine with a cover image featuring Richard Nixon. Stuart immediately jumps into the bed from above when Gru settles down between everyone's absolute favorite minions, Bob and Steve. If you watch carefully, you will notice that he is dolled up in a red smoking dress jacket. This is more of an adult reference and definitely seems to be the wardrobe staple worn by Hugh Hefner, the originator of Playboy. In the same scene, an open vault can be seen on Gru's bedside table, making the audience wonder what it holds. When Gru and his minions enter the cinema, we recognize a movie poster for the film Jaws in the back. Steven Spielberg directed Jaws, which was also produced by Universal Studios. An alarm clock can be seen on Gru's bedside table in a prior scene, where he is in bed with his faithful minions. It is not the sort of alarm clock you would assume a young kid to have. This is because it is not. It is a ticking time bomb. Marlena, Gru's mother, was never the type of mother who fully deserved mothering accolades because we saw her victimizing Gru and questioning his abilities from the start. Things are no different with her in the Rise of Gru, as we see a very incautious mother who has never looked out for her son, even though we see her for a very short instant. The film takes it to a whole other level by portraying her as a free-spirited hipster who exercises meditation with random guys. We first encounter Gru in Despicable Me back in 2010, when he seems to be utilizing a freeze ray on unknown strangers in a coffee shop with no shame or guilt. This shows how he hates waiting in lines. This must be one of his favorite activities, as we see him employing a cheese ray and paralyzing people in the very same way in Rise of Gru. In addition to everything else in Gru's bedroom that demonstrates his desire to become a baddie in the long term, there is an original poster on the wall to the right of his bed. Yes, it is a Stronghold poster if you watch hard. Stronghold is a prominent member of the Vicious Six, a roguish group that plays a big role in the movie. While the minions endeavor to fly an aircraft into the sky, this strange journey is full of entertaining moments. One of the minions whacks open the pilot door, finally revealing himself to be rolled up in pink toilet paper. This is a specific parallel to a previous film in the Despicable Me series, specifically Despicable Me 3, in which minions travel to France and outperforms a dance on a stage using pink toilet tissue. We see certain recognizable furniture pieces in the background when young Gru is talking to the representatives of the Vicious Six, particularly Wild Knuckles. These couches resemble crocodiles and are best suited for supervillains. They are also a throwback to the Despicable Me series, where comparable couches can be found in Gru's household. When Gru is called up before the Vicious Six for an appointment to fill the vacant spot in the Violent Criminal League, he shows up at Criminal Records, a massive and super awesome record store. This is a highly amusing and quite crazy name for a store, but it has a tricky double meaning. Consider for a moment that criminal records also correspond to what is commonly known as a police record, which is the official record kept by the police regarding a person's criminal history. What a good metaphor for the headquarters of the most heinous criminals. We all know how much Gru adores gadgets, and in this film, we see Gru and his mastermind pal, Dr. Nefario, meet for the first time. When he goes to meet Dr. Nefario, they instantaneously click and become spontaneous coalition partners. Nefario basically gives Gru one of his scientific breakthroughs, a weapon that shoots a sticky hand called Smart Goo, and tells him that if you ever get famous, remember who gave you your first gadget. This is an intriguing way to connect the two of them. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob are our all-time favorite minions. This film clearly shows that they have always been like this from the early stages, as they are always seen pioneering missions and not allowing other minions to sparkle too much. However, in this movie, we meet a whole other minion named Otto, who is similarly awkward and pertinent. He has his own storyline and a lot of potentials. He speaks too much, makes significant errors, and jeopardizes Gru's plan to steal the Zodiac Stone, which is a very magical stone that has the power to turn people into animals. Bob, Stuart, and Mike are seen seeking Gru while trying to escape Wild Knuckles' hitmen while walking up and down a comical version of San Francisco's roads. This is where they meet Master Cho in Chinatown. Master Cho is a kung fu expert that saves them and then teaches them kung fu in a series of classical and advanced scenes filled with specific references to Kill Bill Volume 1. That's it for today. Have you noticed some of these secrets already? Did we leave out another secret or Easter egg? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave us a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more content on the biggest upcoming blockbusters. Until next time,